Okay, so let's jump into, at this point, another match from the in-between, from the Blue Carbon Cup by Ro32. It's gonna be this time the first round of qualification, so a round of 32 between Laka Acro 17 and QFilip. So that's another fog of 4, and we are going to be therefore having, no, well, quite a bit of a volcano in the middle with some, wow, very random dolphins in there. I'm not entirely certain what those guys are actually doing in here. I'm not entirely thinking they're gonna be having such a long lifespan therefore. Wouldn't be expecting so, but nonetheless, otherwise the starting conditions here on this map, that's gonna be called Meltdown. And that's actually a map that I do recall from a different tournament, Meltdown. Definitely do. And just like, I kinda remember this, because those fireballs, they can definitely target you, and they have, if I'm not mistaken, do target you. I'm not certain what actually match and tournament this was, if it was maybe some double cup or whatever else from Ro32. But the Civilisations, again, they are going to be free hidden pick, and interestingly, we're gonna be getting the Romance, which is gonna be my very first actually scene of the Civilization in a kind of tournament. So that's gonna be, I guess, maybe somewhat of a cool spot for me to be in, with apparently no really close gold mine here anywhere nearby. You can see right now that the golds are gonna be in the waters and in the shallows, with some dolphins as well. So theoretically going for the water might be quite a bit useful here for the players, as you do start with the junk. Can be of course used as the trading unit, at least I'll be therefore assuming that it of course can be, until you're gonna be seeing it then. Well, you kinda never know, but usually in those scenarios or kind of like maps that we have seen before, they were utilized that way, or could be utilized in such a way. For the Civilisations, therefore, the other one for Acro, he's gonna be playing with Malians, which is obviously quite nice, good civilization for any kind of maps like these, and hybrid maps, for example, as they do have solid bonus. The Malians, considering now the buildings costing 15% less wood, is really superb, and even just the extra gold from the villages, basically like half of the Egyptian empowerment from Age of Mythology, well, it's really useful for any kind of water gameplay, and even some archer gameplay, of course, in the classical age, aka feudal age, of course, the second. Yeah, I'm gonna be probably right now quite a bit into Age of Mythology with the terms, even though it's basically the same thing here. So that was a bit close with the village in there, as you're gonna be right now aiming for some further water. Or further water, some first water. And apparently you can see that QFilip is gonna be approaching it slightly differently. He is gonna be interested in getting onto the dolphins through the land. Obviously we don't have anything like a old school Indians practically, where you'll be having some kind of huge bonus. And it really just kind of like bothers me that you can't be switching the players. That's absolutely incomprehensible change that they did. But I'm gonna be having to look into it, because they did some changes to hotkeys. But if they for some reason remove this, I can't fathom why they would be doing anything like that. But the Romans therefore. Okay, so what is gonna be relevant here? Otherwise you're having free hidden pick, no repeat in the tournament, just the maps are going through a draft. I'm not entirely certain if you are really catching the first game here, so I'm not entirely wanting to spoil it, because it almost feels like it might be even a second, but hopefully not. Hopefully you're gonna be getting some proper informazione once the match is going to be also done and finished.
Impera. Salve.
Oh, well, of course it's gonna be Latin, getting used to kind of like it's some kind of new speak. Well, galley line might be somewhat curious at the start. Village gather, build and repair 5% faster. I mean, like the gathering 5% faster is kind of nice. Infantry receives double effect from blacksmith upgrades. Well, let's see if it's gonna be going for some funny early rush maybe, or some kind of even man-at-arms rush. See if that's gonna be an idea for him or not. But you can see 22 wills against 19, with Acro 17 being quite a bit ahead already. 2 fishing boats there. That's obvious right now the difference, or at least kind of like a portion of it, since the opposing player is not having any kind of docks, but he's having loom. There's also no loom here, so that's the 3 villager difference right there, with also the feudal age therefore enabled a bit faster due to food gathering from the water. So there we are. This time we're gonna be starting with only 1 scout, it looks like. to be only one here. So far nothing entirely too specific. Bit interesting that we also don't see entirely that much of a walling currently going on. You can see it's gonna be maybe some kind of at least basics of it around here. I'm also gonna need it to be right now switching towards the information on Twitch, so that people are knowing what we are streaming here. That it is a different match. That's gonna be there for Laka Akro. 17, and you're gonna be having QFilip on the other side. Okay, so that's gonna be all fixed. We can therefore go back into our action. You can see right now the advance is gonna be about 20% later, so that means about extra villager. But yeah, I'm really not sure what to expect from the Romans, how they actually played. Really, this is my very first game that I'm gonna be seeing the Romans in the action in Age of Empires 2. So looking forward to what's gonna be the general meta, but expecting this is gonna be at least some kind of basic or water warfare. We'll be having probably some fire ships, I guess, because you do have the gold on the outskirts, so you better be paying quite a bit of a close attention to all of this. You better be doing that. No, and 4 fishing boats seems to be fairly standardized number, and that's even demo ship directly. Oh, okay. So we're apparently gonna be getting fancy here, probably to be switching into there for Mr. Laka to understand what's going on here. Doesn't seem like he's gonna be really dropping any further things, and he's gonna be probably at this point trying to destroy the enemy villages. If you're gonna be about now putting on the fog of war, then he maybe actually does see what's going on, because he knows about the mill. So he's gonna be trying to destroy the villages. That's what he's gonna be trying to do. And frankly, it's also not only about the hunters and fishermen. It's also going to be quite evidently about the gold miners, as they're also quite a bit exposed here. And yeah, well, it really looks like that you can be potentially maybe blocking the path in with the junk. But much more importantly, just kind of waiting for the demo to be finally exploding on the left. There we go. There we go in here. As you can see, a few more archers currently coming as the beginning here from the Roman. So it's not gonna be that much actually relying on the infantry. Well, still, the archers are gonna be in general better. There's the junk. It's gonna be okay. That looks like 4 dead villages. There we go. Kinda nice how he was actually going from behind, right? So that they're gonna be escaping too well. That's very nicely done. So 4 of daddies, and he can be probably sending even 4 more into the afterlife, and maybe even more than that. As you can see right now, there's not much of a play here. Just the tower is gonna be coming up, which is making pretty good sense. Otherwise, you will be really risking quite some further destruction and death. But it looks like it's gonna be rather a bit more galleys, even though the demo is attempted. But first, galleys need to be coming up. They can be also quite a bit obnoxious to the bottom, and it's even 4 of them all together. As otherwise, on the land, we do have some units right now available, whereas for Akro he's gonna be wanting to switch into stables. Can say now also the castle age doesn't seem to be necessarily too far away from him, as he is quite a bit high currently on the food, but with the investment, yeah, he seems like to be thinking this is gonna be fine to stay in the classical age. Nope, in the feudal age. Classical is in Age of Mythology. And you're gonna be wanting to get some kind of proper control of the gold, because I mean, like, this tower is kinda nice. Problem is it's gonna be protecting only from the left, whereas from the right the boats are gonna be having quite some free shooting field and shooting yard, because you can see right now 8 range, whereas the boat is gonna be at 5, so 3 squares extra. That means right now 1, 2, 3, so they can be able to kinda shoot about here on those on the right. It's gonna be a bit tricky, but maybe with Fletching he's gonna be able to get even further. But the archers apparently did surprise Akro at least a bit. You can see he wasn't expecting that currently. Some more cavalry, but it's only 2 guys without any kind of further ups. So they certainly aren't enough to deal with this. And we don't seem to be having the scout anymore, right? The starting one. Because I think he was making 2, if I'm not mistaken. Thinking he was. Okay, demo coming forward. Nope, you're not gonna be going after those all that much, so just gonna be scaring them away. That's gonna be more than enough. Okay, that was Bit of a mistake, but maybe he's gonna be actually able to lure him out. Yeah, he was a bit too impatient. He should have let them go a bit deeper. Definitely understand what he was trying to do here, but nonetheless, all the way to the south, we have, of course, right now the boats coming forward into the raiding, but there is something that need to be taken care of. But of course, with the new reinforcements from QFilip, they are gonna be way too low on the numbers, and therefore it's gonna be a great opportunity for Akro to test the metal and, of course, the also steel of his horses. Nice pathfinding overall. And overall the stutters, really. Nicely done. Great job, developers. You know what you are doing. This actually didn't even used to be too much of a thing here before. So it's maybe something they introduced in the latest patch. Nice, nice, nice. And then, well, oh well, that's actually gonna be quite a strong feudal age by QFilip. On the other hand, Akro, he's certainly looking like he wants to be leaving into the castle age. Which is making sense. Right now the tower is gonna be probably protecting the villages more than enough. With, yep, not entirely getting the market here. We do have plenty of opportunities for the galleys, apparently not only on the gold mine. And it's gonna be right now resulting into 7 villages extra for Akro already. 7 villages more for them. And for him. Doesn't seem like he's gonna be having exactly enough range. That's a bit of a shame. But whatever the case, at least some kind of delay has been there. That's obviously what all the Age of games or any kind of real-time strategy games are all about. You just want to be like making sure your opponent is not gonna be able to do as many actions as possibly you can. As you can see, there's the Castle Age. And as for QFilip, and he switch over, he's gonna be kind of like slowly getting ready maybe for the Castle Age as well. Okay. They did listen. They just kind of nicely surrounded the demo ship because it couldn't explode. They didn't have a target in there. And, well, it's not like working in Age of Empires 2 the same as it used to be in Age of Empires 4, right? Where in some of the early versions, you basically were deleting demo ships because they were having absolutely obscene range onto the land and you were just killing units kilometers away. So that's obviously not entirely the case here. Impera. That is not the case anything here. You can say now the Roman is gonna be having just the start in wood as the upgrade, as the Castle Age. And for the other player, for the Malian, we are going to be having wood, food and also the gold upgraded with some basic first armor for the cavalrymen. Second stable, so obviously bloodlines coming forward. Yeah, well, soon we're gonna be also spamming the knights into the army. It's gonna be very nicely timed with the bloodlines, so everything going according to plan and expectations. As you can see now, the galleys. Well, I wonder if he's gonna be trying to upgrade them. I'm not entirely certain if there's gonna be too much of a purpose in it. Dock, no. Not sure. It's gonna be trying to actually go for fire ships currently, QFilip, interestingly. I'm kind of thinking that maybe it would be a better time to prepare for the currently land offensive. As on the water, no, you still do have the gold there, so still, you mustn't completely underestimate it, but currently you have better options how to work with it. You can maybe even drop a TC in there once you're gonna be into the castle, so I'm really thinking that just building the boats is gonna be all that much necessary. We'll see. We will see, maybe I'm completely wrong in that. As the archers still do not have anything extra, you can say it now missing even, for example, the fletching. Cavalrymen therefore gonna be having bloodlines in the first defense with some knights. Further fishing boats also getting ready for Akro. And this could be somewhat of an interesting sandwich. No, yeah, especially with the 2 extras coming forward, this is gonna be very well played by Akro. And QFilip probably wasn't entirely expecting what's going to come for him. With crossbowmen and fletching almost there. And the town center having to save him for the time being. And while he's gonna be able to destroy the spearman, sure, well, fortunately the damage from the TC is gonna be a bit too obnoxious and a bit too high. But with the base practically being unguarded and unwalled, it's gonna be still quite a bit of a free day for Akros Knights to kill as many villages as he possibly and humanely can. You can see 50 villas against right now 34. We're getting into like a 17 plus difference between the players, which is practically half of the echo of QFilip. The other player is having already above. And that wasn't a petard. That's, yeah, that's right about now the volcano purposefully trying to actually target the enemy units. It is still the same as it was in the... I don't know what tournament it was anymore, but in the previous tournament. Can be getting some fireballs into the face. Okay, so obviously this is not going to be entirely enough for Acro. But is he gonna be minding too much? I think he might be feeling he is actually in too much of a good position on the land to even take care of the water. Still needs to be fixing somehow the gold, but you can see to the top. Some kind of TC maybe, if you can be fitting it here. Could be somewhat of a good plan and idea. And we are going to be waiting for, currently, improvements into 5 ships for Acro. So he's not gonna be underestimating it. Not wanting to be risking that something untowards is gonna be happening from that. So far still missing the botkin arrow, unfortunately for QFilip. It's gonna maybe switching to him to have a appreciation of his economy. Can say right now the resources are kinda like so close by there, but yeah, well, he's not entirely seeing how he can be actually surviving. His heavy raiding, he's dropped to already 23 villages against 55 for Acro, and that's gonna be therefore resulting into Acro getting a victory here. Again, not entirely certain if it was first or second game. I'll be kinda hoping that first, but can be certain. But now seems like we're gonna be continuing right now with the second map being Marsh Madness. Marsh Madness, Meltdown, and Water Nomad are the maps for the players. So let's go through the info and then we're gonna be heading into the next game. It looks like that maybe you're gonna be able to get this match in full, possibly. Looks like this is the first one. Can see already Bowsaw. Gonna be having also the Horse Collar and Gold Mining, quite nice cavalry upgrades. Missing maybe the second upgrade into the defense, but that's alright. That is alrighty. Can see of course the military quite a bit evident. And on the resources 1900 to 8 and 3, so it's gonna be like 2,500 resources more for Acro. It's not like too extreme, but obviously already quite nice difference. Also allowing for the researches extra for Laka Acro. GG.